Hi, I'm Mike. Today, super happy fun time ends for the bulls. They've done their job, and now it's time to separate them from the cows and start their long journey on their way back home to their winter pasture. On our Wyoming Life. Welcome back to Our Wyoming Life. Each and every video, we bring you along with us as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. Together, all of us learning on the way and hopefully having a little bit of fun. If you really break down the ranch, there are very few vital functions. Now, that's if you define vital as absolutely necessary and function as an activity. So there are very few absolutely necessary activities on the ranch. It sounds kind of weird, right? I mean, I'm busy. Seems like all the time. First, let's break down the vital functions. Then we'll figure out what keeps me busy as a one-eyed cat watching 3 different mouse holes. The way I see it, there are really only 4 vital functions here on the ranch. Let's start off in the summer. We start haying in the summer. We cut hundreds of acres of grassland to make food for the cows. If we don't have hay to cut, then we buy it. But one way or the other, we're gonna get that food that the cows are gonna need to eat all winter long. That's one vital function of the ranch, haying. Another vital function plays right into that, feeding. All winter long, we feed the cows. Hopefully, we feed them the hay we made right here on the ranch. If not, then we'll feed them the hay that we bought from wherever, other producers. It's a daily task, but it's absolutely a necessary activity. All that feeding is to keep the cows healthy and alive. Now, you could say that giving the cows water, I guess, is a vital function, but cows will find water if they have to, and we have ponds that they'll break open the ice in the wintertime. So for our purposes today, I'm actually gonna leave that off the list.
Your experiences may vary, and this video is only intended to show you what we deal with here on the ranch. Your land or area of the world will be different, and we understand that. Thank you for your understanding as well.
Okay, moving on. Another vital function for us, I guess, is calving time. That's when the cows are gonna have their babies. Now, we take very good care of them this time of year because each calf born successfully and healthy on the ranch is an asset. Yes, most of them will be sold to feedlots and other ranchers to sustain their herds, but the money from the sale of those calves is what's going to keep the ranch going for another year, and hopefully many more after that. So we have 3 vital functions now: haying, feeding, and calving. The only thing missing is breeding. Without breeding, well, there's no calving. And for our younger viewers, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. Our bulls go in with the cows roughly July 1st, and they get to work immediately. This is all very precisely timed out. Cows will cycle an average of every 21 days. We have 7 bulls down there with these cows, and they're working, each and every one of them is working to get those cows pregnant. And it works out to about 21 cows per bull. The bulls have been down here for 76 days, and in order to get the job done, they'd have to get a cow pregnant every 3 to 4 days. If a cow doesn't get pregnant, then she'll cycle again. And ideally, a bull will actually have 4 chances to impregnate that one cow. Of course, that's on paper, and sometimes it doesn't work that way, but we'll deal with that a little bit later. So enough of all this. We'll continue this conversation on the vital functions a little bit later. For now, let's go out, let's find our bulls and get them pulled off of the cows. What I can only imagine has been an entire 2.5 months of one big party of overindulgence. So let's get to work. As you can tell, it's a bit windy here today. Winds are between 20 to 30 miles an hour, and this may actually cause problems moving cattle, but we'll see what happens. Luckily, we don't have to sort all 7 bulls today. bulls aren't dumb, and they know when there is no more work to be done. So they tend to separate themselves off from the cows, forming their own male herd, just as many wild animals do. 3 out of our 7 have separated themselves off of the cows. We also have 1 bull is still in with the heifers near home, so he won't be hard to sort off when we get the other bulls closer to home. We have only 3 bulls to move off the cows down in their summer pasture, but first, we have to find them. The cows are now on summer pasture, where they'll stay until early October. It's an area of a few thousand, almost wide open acres, where the cows move through utilizing natural water reservoirs. As we finally arrive down at the cows, miles from the main ranch house and shop, we can begin our search for the bulls. There are 3 of them down here, 2 red Angus and 1 black. And there's the little red one now. Now we want to find all 3 bulls before we start gathering them up to move them home. So everyone remember where we parked our bull. A half a mile or so away, we find the rest of the herd, all gathered around this reservoir. It doesn't take long until we find our second red bull, hanging out with the girls. The last bull is playing a bit of hide and seek, and I don't see him with any of the other cows. But a few stragglers back in some smaller rolling hills are giving him sanctuary, and soon he is discovered. On a side note, while we're down here, Bambi is hanging out with her calf, who has gotten really big. Now that all 3 bulls are located, it's time to bring them all together. We start by moving the last one found and the farthest from the gate. The hope is that we can pick up the other 2 along the way. We get some unexpected help from our lead steer, who was raised for just such an occasion, and he leads our bull across the pasture and hopefully keeps him busy while we gather the other 2. Close by is the first bull we found and the smallest of the 3. He's a pushover, so we can move him away from the cows and off in the direction that we're going to be heading in just a few minutes. Right after, we gather up our oldest bull and sometimes the most hard-headed of the bunch, Bubbles. I can already tell that he doesn't want to play along. Instead of heading for the gate, he's moving toward the main herd of cows. Bubbles is 7 years old. This will be his 5th and probably last year on the ranch. We'll sell him to be able to buy a younger and more productive bull. As bulls get older, they get prone to injuries and they have fertility issues. But he has put in a good 5 years, siring hundreds of cows. And today, I kind of get the feeling he doesn't want to be done. Part of the problem is the wind. It's blowing towards the gate that we want to go to. Cows and bulls want to be able to smell anything in the direction that they're heading into, and with a tailwind, they have no idea what may lay ahead. As Mr. Bubbles keeps turning into me and forcing his path towards the cows, it soon becomes apparent that a battle between a 2,000-pound bull and me on a 4-wheeler, well, it's not going to end well. As he continues his stubborn behavior, the other 2 bulls move in to investigate, giving me a chance to try to move them together. But Bubbles basically ignores the other bulls and still wants to be part of the herd. It's not worth getting hurt over, and leaving him here for another day won't hurt. So I decide to change tactics and go after the other 2 bulls and move them out. But by now, everybody's a rebel, and the race is on. Soon after, they mix themselves in with the rest of the herd too. All right, this is a little impromptu ending here, but I'm starting to get frustrated. And when you do that, mistakes are made, bad things can happen. So what I'm gonna do is let these bulls rest. Obviously they don't want to work with me today, and if they don't want to work with me, I don't want to work with them. So I'm gonna let them do their thing, give them a couple days, and we'll come out and try it again. I will meet you back in the shop in just a minute. Oh, You're killing me, Smalls. I guess it's better to live and fight another day, and I guess when you're the only soldier in the war, you can't afford to get hurt. But actually, I'm kind of okay with letting them rest another day. We do have 4 of the 7 already taken care of and moved off the cows. The wind today was not helping at all, and if I happen to catch a majority of the herd over by the gate that we need to go out of anyway, that might be an added bonus. So they stay in for a couple more days. One big thing I've actually learned here is the ability to be flexible. Not everything's going to go your way, and you can't get mad about it. You just try again later. So those are the vital functions of the ranch, my main 4, even though we didn't get the last one completed. If ranching is just 4 things, what keeps us so busy? Well, it's everything in between those 4 things. Making hay bales is much more than cutting hay. It's maintaining multiple pieces of equipment, seeding, fertilizing, managing grassland. Cattle nutrition is much more than just feeding that hay too. It's supplements and vitamins and shots and preg checking and on. You get the idea. Come with us 3 times per week and see all the little pieces stuck between the big ones, just like lettuce in your teeth. Please subscribe, click that bell notification so you don't miss a thing. And until I see you again, have a great week. And thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life.